In this video, I wanted to talk about eye level in a composition. I recently finished reading the book Pictorial Composition. I can't remember the author's name, but you can find it. But basically, I read the entire book and I was trying to understand, well, just more about compositions. And I feel like the main point that they didn't talk about until the end was establishing an eye level line, which is extremely important to an entire composition, because when you start a composition, that eye level is extremely important throughout. You want to maintain that eye level. So let me draw I'm going to draw a cylinder. Well, I'm just establishing a line to draw. Let me think about this for one moment. It's not perfect. I've drawn this in this type of cylinder before. It is not perfect by any means, but a little bit more curved than I want it to be. It's not perfect, but the point here is that this cylinder sits at eye level. So let me show you what I mean. Because if I draw a horizon line or the eye level right here, it's important that everything above the horizon line appears as if it's above us, and everything below the horizon line appears as if it's below us. And if it's on the horizon, it should appear like a little straight on, we can't see the ellipse of that because it's on eye level. So let me draw another example, because more often than not, you're going to be dealing with how things sit in 3D space rather than something like that, which when viewed looks a little bit two-dimensional unless you really draw through your forms. So let me give an extreme example, right? If we're going to draw a cylinder again, well, we have something like that. Okay, in this case, this cylinder, we were directly above the cylinder, and it kind of makes things a bit confusing. So let me draw that cylinder again in a different way to kind of help hone the point. I'll start with a line. I'll make the perspective a bit sun. Okay. So we have our cylinder from before, the one that was right here, and we kind of changed our position. We kind of went back a bit, so it's kind of more in a 3/4 perspective view. Not exactly. I mean, probably if it would be more in a 3/4 view, it would. I'll draw it here for you. But I'm trying to show how it's important. These things that I just drew here, I mean, based on eye level, I don't believe it would be impossible to really look at them at the same time. If you have something, if you are drawing below the eye level, scratch that one, but if you look here, the eye level is above this somewhere. You wouldn't draw things below that eye level line as if it was above you, because then everything would look out of whack, and it would just be more of a you'd be setting yourself up for failure, in which people would realize that, hey, that doesn't look right. It can't exist in that when we're when it's below our eye level. So it's you really have to keep that in mind. And I really wish the book had more examples about that, because it's just something that I feel is extremely basic, and it was just kind of glazed over. But perhaps I need to look for more information. Not perhaps, probably. Not liking that line. Sorry. Okay. It's a little off center. Okay, something more like this, right? Okay, so we can tell that this cone is like in a 3/4 perspective, or like a little bit above it. We can kind of see that as well. Now, when things get a bit weird, if we were to say like, ignore this stuff, sorry, I really can't make it clean, but let's say that it was above us, right? Or like, let's say there was a cylinder above us, or if there'd be like one at eye level, it would just appear like a straight line. I mean, not the entire cylinder, but just like the ellipse at the top of it, as I mentioned before. But if there's a cylinder above us, I would say it would kind of maybe be something like this. No, too big. But yeah, something more like that. Let me do another view of it. The other thing is everything above that eye level will need to appear as if it's above you, not below. Because if you did the same thing over here, it would look weird. I guess a lot of the times when I draw stuff for practice, I'm not really thinking about eye level, and I'm just trying to practice a bunch of different things. So that is an important thing to keep in mind. Maybe I should be more aware of that in one form or another. But yeah, you see this one is also a bit above us. Maybe I should have made another one that's a bit more... Well, I'll put another one. I guess this one, it could also be the one I drew before over here. I guess you could also think of it as like looking at it head on. And I didn't really think of that. I kind of looked at it as if you're above looking below, like directly on. But I guess that falls into like the same type of category with it. But when I do any type of more different compositional work, I'll try to share it in one way or another to really elaborate on the eye level. I always wondered if the great artists ever drew an eye level in their actual painting before maybe painting over it, or if it was ever included in their original drawing process. Perhaps it's just one of those things that's too annoying, but I kind of find it to be like an important line. Like I keep wondering, like, how do people not mark that and keep going back to it constantly again and again? Because I mean, the thing is, the eye level line, I always talk about it like that. I think you could always make it in like different ways as well. Like you don't have to, it doesn't always have to be straight on. It could be in like a more 3/4 manner, or it could like, I mean, there's always, well, I guess eye level is always straight. But the point I'm trying to say here is like, even an example like this, if you're to say the eye level's here, everything, this is top, this is below, because it's like where you're looking, or where even the camera is looking. Things on the eye level would look like a line based on the perspective. But yeah, that's something like I really need to do more research and try to learn about it more, how the greats really kept it consistent, because I keep thinking that like I have to think that there has to be at least one instance in which maybe they knocked over something and they had to place it back up, and I'm like I'm like thinking like they can't, there's no way, there's got to be a way they could reestablish their or reorient themselves to the eye level line somewhere in their work. Maybe they just eyed it, haha, to figure it out. But yeah, that's kind of the thing that I wanted to talk about. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it doesn't seem like I'm kind of all over the place, but perhaps I will visit this topic more in the future. And I think I'm going to have to, because I feel like there is some other elements that I'm just not aware of right now, and probably other things I can share once I learn it. But yeah, thank you very much for sticking around and listening. If you have a question, put it in the comments, because maybe that could even help me learn more as well. If you like the video, please like it. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Thank you for listening. Bye.